Yo guys, we are playing Phasmophobia. Is the new update. We have 2 new ghosts. We have some event maps that actually are pretty cool. I played the Nels Diner one, and it was actually pretty cool. It was very creepy. I actually like it a lot. I personally, once I loaded into, oh wow, Blood Moon's first Phasmophobia video back in how long? At least 3 or 4 months, probably. Wow. But, that's crazy. Well, let's make it count. So we have 2 new ghosts. We have the Azwing and we have the Cormos. Go ahead and put these down. The salts now get placed instantly at the start of the animation rather than the end of the animation. That was the complaint that I had, is that it did that, and then it just really annoyed me, and I hated all the animations and stuff. But now when you swap items in your inventory, it instantly pops up what you switch to as well. So it doesn't, like, pull it out and then do the animation, and then you don't know if you're pulling out your instance while you're being chased or not, and you have to fucking, you know what I mean? So, they've got that figured out, which I'm very happy about. Now, as you can see, we have the Azwing, and we have the Cormos, whatever. I'll dive into how they work in a little bit, if you guys would like me to. You know, ideally we'll encounter one of them in this video, but maybe not. We're probably going to play about 4, maybe 4 to 6 games, probably just get like a nice little, anywhere from a 15 to 25 minute video, just whatever I'm feeling like whenever I'm playing. We're doing 0 evidence, 0 sanity runs on Ridgeview. Maybe I'll switch up the map every game or something, I don't know. I kind of just want to encounter one of the new ghosts, because I have a very decent understanding of how they work. You know, and to me it seems like the Azwing is, oh, here we go. That is a Deogen. Or is that a Fae? Oh, that's a Fae. Alright. Wait, no, that's not a Fae. It's because the Azwing is a Fever. That's an Roy. Okay, if I'm not crazy, that is significantly faster than it was at the beginning of the hunt, right? Sorry guys, I forgot about, I'm a bit washed up. I forgot about the 10% ghost speed increase on the Blood Moons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the rhythm of the speed, of the footstep speed at the beginning of the hunt, and then I'm going to let it get a pretty long line of sight on me, and I'm going to measure the rhythm of the footsteps after it's had a line of sight on me and see if it increases. So what we're looking for here, we'll try to turn this into a little educational series. What we're essentially looking for here is we are, granted it could also be an Obombo. I forgot to consider that as a possibility as well. But I think it's a little bit too fast for an Obombo. I could be wrong. What we're looking for here is a Fae is very fast at the beginning of the game because it's very young, and how a Fae works essentially is it starts off really young and really fast, and then as the game goes on, a lot of people think it's just as the game goes on, but the truth is you have to be in the ghost room for it to age. So it essentially ages throughout the game if you're in the ghost room. Not just, you can't just sit in the van for 20 minutes and then come in and it's slow. You have to be in the ghost room for it to age, and I think it's every 1 to 2 minutes it ages. I don't know the exact number. Now let's hear the speed real quick. That is way slower. That almost sounds normal speed. Huh. That is interesting. That almost sounds normal speed, which means that we definitely have an Obombo or twins. And the way that we're going to measure this is, basically, what we're going to do here is an Obombo, when it is at its enraged phase, if you guys know how the Obombo and twins work, I know you guys don't want to hear it over and over again, but, you know, for people who know how to play. Essentially, an Obombo and twins are kind of the same ghost. You have an Obombo that is a little bit faster. It's about 1.96 meters per second. I'll actually explain it after this. I'll wait until the hunt and then I'll explain it, because I want to see what the speed of the ghost is. We're going to set a 30-second timer. Basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be setting a 30-second timer as soon as the hunt begins. If it is at its fast speed. It has to be fast for it to work for the Obombo. A hunt duration on this difficulty that I'm playing is going to be 30 seconds, but when the Obombo is in its enraged state, which means it's going to be faster and not the slower speed, it actually has a 20% decrease in hunt duration. A 20% decrease from 30 takes away 4 seconds, right? Because, you know, 20% is a fifth of 100, and a fifth of 30 is 4 seconds. So, or sorry, 6 seconds. So you take away that, and it actually is a 24-second hunt. That's where I got my 4 from. It's a 24-second hunt because you're taking a fifth of the total time away. So a fast twin speed, and if you're like an intermediate level player and not highly advanced, sometimes you might even get the fast Obombo and the Maroi and the fast twin speeds mixed up a little bit. There we go. Alright, so we have a 30-second timer going. Now what we could do here, if you want to be smart with it, is you could just incense it, go into a room with the light on. No matter how far away it gets, the timer will, or the hunt will end as soon as the light turns off. So if it is no Obombo, it will end in 3, 2, 1. Nice. See, and a normal ghost would have ended its hunt in 3, 2, 1 now. Because that was a 30-second timer. So whenever you do this, just get a 30-second timer on your phone and set it up, and that's all you gotta do. Every single ghost will be a 30-second hunt duration unless, you know, certain factors, like if it's a cursed hunt, or, you know, or if it kills you or somebody else, and extends the hunt or cancels the hunt right away. Set a 30-second timer, and ideally, if you time it absolutely perfectly, the Obombo fast speed will end its hunt at 6 seconds, because it's, you know, 6 seconds less than a normal hunt. And then obviously the twin or whatever, any other ghost in the game that you're considering, it will end at as soon as the timer runs out. What I do typically is I give myself about a 1 to 2 second margin of error. So if it, you know, if the hunt doesn't end at exactly 6 seconds and it ends with like 7 or 8 seconds, then still go for Obombo. Maybe even, honestly, like, maybe even 5, but that would, you'd have to start it early for it to hit 5 seconds. So what I would do is, if the hunt ends and you aren't really sure about the timer, if you see the clock hit 5 before the hunt is over, just go ahead and assume that it's an Obombo, because you would literally, or sorry, go ahead and assume that it's, twins, because you would have to literally start it early for it to end. If it was no Obombo at 5 seconds, you would have to start the hunt. You would have to start the timer a full second before the hunt even starts, and you're not going to do that. So, get a nice little 30-second timer, and there you go. Get that. This is a normal drinking speed. Salt hasn't stepped in. That was a fast throw, but I'm not going to get confused by that. I know that's not a poltergeist throw, because it tried to throw me off in the end there. Plus, that was I believe that was a fork that it threw, or a cup. So I'm not going to get caught off guard by that. But no, yeah, so the twin basically has 2 speeds that it cycles between. We don't need that timer anymore. Let's go ahead and reset that and get it ready in case we need it again. But yeah, no, basically that's how it works. If you guys ever want to know about any ghost in particular, just, you know, leave a comment. But the way the Obombo works is basically switches between what is known as a calm state and an aggressive state. And with the calm state, it is actually a little bit slower. It's going about 1.45 meters per second. And I know these numbers are meaningless if you don't actually know the rhythm of the speed. You would just have to hear it in game. I could replicate it for you. It's kind of like boom, 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 boom. That's about the rhythm of the footsteps. And then in its aggressive state, it will actually go 1.96 meters a second, which is more like boom, 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 boom. So as you can see, it's a little bit faster. I try to get the rhythms as perfectly as I can, and you know that's, you know, the 1.96 meter a second aggressive speed on the Obombo is a little bit faster than the default 1.7 meters per second that the majority of the ghosts have. So 1.7 is a bit like boom, 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 boom. See, as you can see, this one's maxing. Boom, boom. Now it's getting a line of sight speed boost, taking about 26 seconds to get its line of sight, to get max speed with the line of sight. thing about the new ghost, the Azwing, is that I'm actually just going to guess this, guys, because I actually kind of really want to get a new ghost. So we're just going to guess this and move on to the next game. I could go in and do a bunch of things, but I'm just not even going to bother. I'm going to guess Banshee. One, or no, it's not acting like a stalker, actually. I'm just going to guess randomly and say, fucking, the footsteps aren't quiet, normal speed, normal blink. I will say, fucking Yuri. I tried clicking it last second. I was going to go Yuri or Goryo, but, or Mirror, maybe, but it was the Mimic, so I literally had to let it hunt maybe 1 or 2 more times, and I would have figured it out. It's fine. But, so no, yeah, that's how the Obombo works, and obviously when it's in its aggressive state, it's 1.96 meters per second, and it is a little bit faster than your default speed, and when it is in its aggressive state, the hunt duration is decreased by 20%. So, if, you know, I used to just go off a gut feeling, like, oh, this hunt seemed like it was 6 seconds shorter than usual, so I'm just gonna, you know, just gonna assume that it's no Obombo, and I'd get it right maybe 85-90% of the time. But all you gotta do is just bring out a 30-second timer, get the timer. What I do is I'll stand by the front door if you're able to. If not, stand somewhere else that's like where you can see the front door, or just flip the light switch non-stop until it stops flipping, because when it stops flipping, that means the hunt has started. And then boom, like as soon as the door shuts, boom, start the timer. You know what I mean? And if it ends with about anywhere from, you know, 6 to 8 seconds left, you know, assuming you have a normal reaction time and you actually successfully start the timer when you need to, if there's about 6 to 8 seconds left on the clock whenever the hunt's over, then you have yourself an Obombo. And if there's anywhere from the timer going off to 2, maybe even 3 seconds left, then boom, you got yourself a twin. Seems like a Oni blinking speed. It's not Oni, it's not an Oni blinking speed, it's a raid. Okay. At the beginning, hold on, bye-bye, buddy. So, I haven't played in a while. I'm a bit rusty when it comes to the Oni blinking speed. I quickly realized it wasn't, and then I realized it hadn't stepped in the salt, so we have a race on our hands there. Unless it's a Mimic, you never know, or unless it's an Azwing or a Cormos, and nobody knows that it doesn't step in salt, which somebody would know that by now, but I don't even know how long these ghosts have been here. I think I installed the update for this game, like, today when I was sleeping, I'm pretty sure. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to blow through these games a bit quick. There's going to be some times where I'll just make an educated guess based off of a gut instinct. And I'm just trying to get as many games as possible so I can hopefully get the new ghost. Get one of the new ghosts. I really want that one. I want the Cormos because the way the is that what it's called? Cormos? Cormos, yeah. The way it works, essentially, is that it's a blind ghost. And it basically can't sense you unless you're moving. Make sure my mic's muted in game so it doesn't hear me. It essentially is blind and doesn't know where you're at unless you're moving. So literally, I could stand right here. Well, actually, let me not do that. That's stupid because it could spawn on me. You could stand right here and not move at all. Like, you can look around and it will just keep walking past you. It won't see you. But it can randomly walk into you. You know, just because you're standing here doesn't mean it's going to always avoid you just because it's blind. It could walk right here where you're at just out of a random chance and kill you. So you still got to make sure it doesn't walk into you. But essentially what it does is it... Holy fuck, that's a Deogen. That is a Deogen, yep. No, that is not a Deogen. What the fuck? That's a Spade. Oh, that is a Deogen speed. See how the speed is staying consistent? The speed is staying very consistent. There's no line of sight build up. It's still boom, 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 boom. That, my friends, is a Fae and a half. Let's go ahead and instance that and get out of here. But the way the Cormos works is it's essentially blind. Sorry, that's what I was talking about before it tried to, you know, maul me. But, mark save. But the way the Cormos works, I believe is the name, is it basically is completely blind. It can't see you, but it can detect you based off of you moving. And essentially the way that this works is when it detects you, it speeds up significantly. It goes about 2.21 meters per second. You know, I did a few minutes of research earlier. I feel like I've got just about everything about this ghost figured out that I need, and I really want to encounter it for the first time. I feel like it's going to be fun. But the way that it works is it's blind, and when you move, it can detect you, and there's actually different detection ranges, which is very interesting about this ghost. So when it detects you based off your movement, if you are doing this, if you're crouched and you're moving like this, it essentially has 10 meters it can detect you from. If you are walking normally like this, standing up and just walking without sprinting, that is 15 meters that it can detect you from. And if you're sprinting, it has 30 meters that it can detect you from. And if you're standing completely still, and apparently I think as well, if you're not making any sound through your microphone or anything, you know, like every other ghost. I don't know exactly. I don't know if it's like, if you're talking, I think it has a normal talking detection range. Like if you're just talking, I don't think it can detect you from like 30 meters away or anything. But that's essentially how it works. Now this is definitely an Oni speed. See, I had to see it one time. That is most definitely an Oni blinking speed. I literally just had to see it one time. Thank you for showing me what an Oni. See, I instantly recognized this. I went around the table half a time and instantly recognized it. So I appreciate that, Phas. I really do. I can actually go to the front door this time because it's going to be done hunting. No, no, no. I almost timed it right. I definitely would have died. I tried to aura farm there and stand by the front door and let the hunt expire right before it killed me, but it actually literally seemed like it gained a fuck ton of food as it was facing me at the door. Yeah, we're good. Oni it is. But yeah, no, 30 meters if you're sprinting, 15 meters if you're walking normally, and 10 meters if you are walking while crouched. Essentially is when it can detect you, and when it detects you, it will go 2.21 meters per second right to where you're at. Let's go ahead and fix my loadout real quick before we get back into this. And that's essentially how it works. It will go to the place that it detected you at, and then that is it. So if you stop moving after it detects you, it will go to where it detected you at, and then it will stop moving. Or not stop moving, and then it will not be able to detect you if you're not moving, sorry. There's no need in buying that. I don't care about tier 3 incense. It's one of the worst tier 3 items in the game. Let's go ahead and buy a bunch of shit here. So I would love to encounter this in-game so I could educate you guys. Now we can add sanity meds to our loadout for sprinting purposes. Headgear, I don't really give a fuck. Okay, crucifix, firelight. I don't mind tier 2 incense. Let's do tier 1. Let's stick to it. Most incense are parabolic. We want tier 2 salt, not tier 3, because tier 3 slows it down. Sanity medication, we'll just add 4 of those, and there we go. Let's go back to Ridgeview and let's continue. Wait, Ridgeview continue? Ooh, Eminem would like that. Going to Ridgeview to continue. I'm kidding, I don't know. Bars. Alright. But no, yeah. So hopefully we'll encounter the Cormos, I believe is what it's called. I want to encounter it for the first time. This will be my first time encountering it, if I do encounter it, obviously, because I have yet to encounter either one of the new ghosts. I'm actually really hoping it could hurry up and, you know, encounter me, or I can encounter it. I feel like that'd be cool, because I want to experience it in game. I already know everything about it. I researched it for 2.3 seconds, and I know everything about it. But, what else was I explaining about the ghost before? Oh, 2.21 meters per second when it's detected you, and if it hasn't detected you, it goes the... That's a slow ghost. I think it's a... Is that a Honto? Oh, that is a Revenant. Alright. I thought it was a Honto because I heard it speed up upstairs and I don't know how. I swear I heard 2 footsteps. Then again, it could have been the same thing where it walked by the room with the ball in it and it happened to make the ball bounce, because the ball bouncing upstairs sometimes during a hunt can blend in with the footstep speed. It could have just sped up out of like some kind of weird glitch. It very well could have done that. But that's definitely a Revenant. That's not a Dayan, or Dayan, sorry. I gotta get in the habit of calling it a Dayan. I don't believe it is, at least, because Well, I did start moving as soon as it sped up, but I tried to wait a second. Yeah, there we go. It is a Revenant. Because I tried to stand still like as it seen me just to make sure that it wasn't a Dan. And I didn't know if I like panicked and accidentally moved a little bit or not. But so we have a Revenant. Is that 2 Revenants for this video, or am I crazy? Maybe not. No, I had a Revenant earlier when I was streaming. I'm pretty sure. But I don't know, man. Hopefully we can encounter this ghost. I'm gonna play like 3 more games max, and we're gonna see what we can get here. Boom, boom, boom. Salt has been stepped in, so we know it's not a wraith. We'll just keep mental. Well, we'll go in our journal and mark it. I've had a problem with my cursor like blending in with the thing here, and I don't know why. I don't know if there's a cursor opacity setting or not, but that's 2 salts being stepped in. We're just gonna go ahead and say it's not a gallow either, because it's had plenty of time for it to get enraged and not step in any more salts. Admire the picture while we're waiting to be hunted. Dude, if they ever rework Ridgeview, I hope to God they never touch this table. Genuinely, dude, they need to never touch this table. This is the perfect. I love the fact that there's no collision physics on the chairs as well. Like, that right there is just absolutely gorgeous in every way. They need to keep it that way. Normal blinking speed, normal speed, no shape shift. I don't see one of these. Does the heartbeat sound a little distorted? Am I crazy? Alright, one more timer on the table and it should be done. There we go. Alright, so what we're going to do here, there's been a problem since the new update, is that it seems like the Raiju distorted heartbeat isn't really a thing anymore, because it seems like a lot of ghosts actually sometimes weirdly have distorted heartbeats, and I don't know why. So we're going to grab an EMF reader, and we're going to test for a Raiju the old-fashioned way, and we're also going to throw down a firelight, and we're going to get a smudge timer ready as well, 3 minutes. There we go. Let's go ahead and throw an electronic down, and let's throw a firelight right there. That's around where it started hunting at, so. Did we equip a tier 3 cruci? We did. It's venting on me. So what we're going to do is actually, we're going to very quickly run over here so it doesn't burn the crucifix. See if we can get it to start hunting. Probably going to have to use the incense and run to our kitchen spot, so let's not get too far away. There we go. Let's go ahead and use it. Quickly make it to response. Did not get a speed boost, and I did not get a smudge timer. Not a Deogen, not a Banshee, not a Dayan, not a Kormos, not a Hantu, Maroi, Obaki, Obambu, Raiju, Thay, Revenant, Phantom, Oni, Twins. Don't think it's a Poltergeist. I won't mark that out because I don't know for sure. Definitely not a Myling, I don't believe. Not a Jinn. I think it had a line of sight on me when it came to me, so I'm going to say that's not a Jinn. I could be wrong, though. I definitely could be wrong. But yeah. So I think we're good. I didn't get a smudge timer, unfortunately. We'll just go off of gut instinct here. Like I said, we're not trying to spend too long on these games. The main goal here is to encounter one of the new ghosts, and that's really the only goal, honestly. I'm gonna... well, there's a smudge timer going on, so this might not even be worth. Door's been opened, but it stayed open. Door slammed. So you know what? We're gonna use that, and I just heard a door close again. So you know what? I'm actually about 85% sure that we have a Yuri. And the only reason I'm saying 85 and not 90, 95 is because I've had this happen before. That right there, we didn't get a smudge timer. It kind of went to shit. We did get a lot of progress. We marked off a lot of different ghosts. So we're going to go Yuri, because if you guys don't know what Yuri, every time it does a door interaction outside of a hunt, it has to fully open or fully close the door. It can't open it or close it halfway. And of course it's a shade. So just like I said, I've had that happen before. 3 door interactions within 5 seconds of each other. Very interesting. And I believe that was the ghost room that I was in as well, technically. Maybe not, but that right there is why you don't ever guess based off of those reasons. But, you know, it was a solid attempt for what we're trying to do. Go ahead and make sure our mic's muted. But yeah, no, the thing with the Azwing, I believe, is that I think it speeds up. I think it speeds up when it sees you. But I think it speeds up when it sees you, kind of like a Jinn or a Revenant. I don't know how fast it exactly goes. It's just that it takes, instead of taking your normal 26 seconds to get max line of sight speed boost, we're gonna get a Cruci burn here. Let's go over here. Instead of 26 seconds to get to the max line of sight speed, it takes 17.33 seconds. So 17 and a third of a second. 17.33. Which I don't think anyone's going to measure it based off of that, because that's just like stupid. There'll be some sort of method for identifying it that comes out. I'll try to think of some whenever I encounter the ghost enough. Did it just close the door? Or did it not? Okay, it's burning this crucifix. What the fuck was that noise? Was that the crucifix? Holy shit. Alright. If it burns this crucifix again before Assault gets stepped in, I'm going to go ahead and say it's a Wraith. And that's not going to be the most confident guess ever, but the fact that burn the crucifix over there is very interesting. Very interesting, actually. So it's a venting. Here's what we'll do. We'll go over here again. Alright. Ooh. The salt did get stepped in. That right there is interesting. That's gotta be a Raizu heartbeat, right? No, it's not. I actually have no idea, man. Wow. I've seen a few throws there that looked pretty interesting. Like I said, we're just going to guess. We're not trying to figure it out. We're going to play one more game after this. I kind of just want to see if we can get one of the new ghosts. There's a few things there. The heartbeat sounded insanely loud when it first came upstairs, but then after I, like, put my earbuds more into my ear, it didn't sound like it was that bad. Like, that distorted. The throws seemed a bit fast, but it didn't seem like it was quite a poltergeist. What usually happens is when I see a few throws that look like it could be a poltergeist, but I'm not convinced 100%, what usually happens is it tends to be a demon. So I'm just going to use that alone and say demon. But if it is a Raiju or a poltergeist, I wouldn't be surprised. It could very well be anything. I mean, obviously we could eliminate quite a bit of ghosts because of the speed, but I'm just going to go demon and lock it in. Am I right? I am right. So that right there, in of itself, should prove that there is something to the demon throws. Because when I see something that is a little bit suspicious in terms of the throw, but it doesn't fully convince me it's a poltergeist, but it seems kind of weird, like not normal. Almost every single time I've ever done that, it was a demon. That's all I'm saying. So maybe we can get some pros to look into that and be like, hey, does the demon throw slightly faster than a normal ghost, but not quite as fast as the poltergeist? We're going to do this last game here, and then I think I'm going to get off here and watch Smile 2, because I want to rewatch that movie. I haven't seen it in maybe like a year or so I'd like to watch it again. Already have a Salt Burn, what the fuck? I'm so washed up. Breakers in Garage. Breakers in Garage. We're actually going to go over here with the Cruci. Drop it. Still make sure our in-game mic is muted so we don't talk and it comes right to us. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know, guys. I'm not minding the update. This is kind of sloppy gameplay because we're not fully analyzing the game like we should. We're kind of just trying to get through it and see if we can find a new ghost as fast as possible. And, you know, I feel like that's what you should do when the update comes out, is you shouldn't really care. You should just try to experience the new ghost. It's just cool. Like, try to experience it, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's pretty much what I'm trying to do. So, I'm praying that... Oh, you know what's weird, actually, about this Cormos? Is that it kind of has mixtures of, like, a Dayan and a... Like, it's kind of like a Dayan. Like, when you move, it speeds up, you know what I mean? And a Dayan was one of the more obvious ghosts, because you just wait for it to get near you, and it slows down, and then whenever you start moving, it speeds up. So now they have a ghost where you can't fully be like, oh, it's a Dayan. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you know, I can, and high-level guys can, but not, you know, your average player. They're not going to know all this shit, but it just seems like, it kind of is there to confuse you. Normal speed so far. Alright, well, it is not one of the new ghosts. It's actually a very normal ghost, so what we're going to do here, we're going to wait for this to be over. It should be over here in a few seconds. There, it's done. Okay, I really got to piss, guys, I'm not going to lie. So, salts have been stepped in. It's a female ghost. Here's what we'll do. We'll give it one more hunt, and then we're just going to leave and guess. And when I do encounter the new ghost, I'm actually going to play this off video and off stream quite a bit. Whenever I do encounter the ghost, what I'm going to do, if this crucifix burns, I'm just going to leave right away. Okay, it's something upstairs. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to play with my mic muted and just record everything. Like, whenever I finally encounter one of the new ghosts, I'll just clip it. But, yeah, no, I'm, that is my cold breath, not the ghost cold breath. It would have been a haunt either way, because it was 1.4 meters a second and everything. Well, the breaker was never on 100, but it'd be faster, so. Okay, we're just going to guess. Here's what we can narrow down just based off of that alone. This is, when you're a high-level player, this is what one hunt. I know that was 2 hunts, but I still have the same exact ghosts marked off because, you know, I would have had them in the first one. So we know it's not an Aswing, we know it's not a Dayan, Dio, Galu, Jin, because it turned off the breaker, Hantu, Cormos, Moroi, Obambo, Obaki, Oni, Phantom, Revenant, Raiju, Poltergeist, Fae, Wraith, Twins, and not guaranteed that it's not a mimic, so I can't mark it. These are, technically speaking, every ghost that we've marked out, there's no possible way it is that ghost. No possible way. So from one hunt, this is what I had it narrowed down to. All these ghosts right here. And really, if you want to get into some high-tech shit, you can roll out a Myling as well, because that's not, the footsteps are not quiet enough to be a Myling, in my opinion. I am a bit rusty, but it's kind of going to be like the Oni blinking speed from earlier. All I got to do is hear it one more time, and it'll get, like, refreshed into my brain. So we could go in here and figure this out, and you know what, maybe we will test for a few things, you know, because we can narrow down a few more things here with one more hunt. You know, we can go to a smudge timer and instantly roll out a spirit and a demon, or figure it out, and we could also test for a yokai. We could also grab a video camera and look for orbs to see if it's a mimic. If we see orbs, it's instantly a mimic. But there's no point, actually, because, you know, we're just going to go upstairs. But here's what we'll do. We're going to wait for it to hunt. We'll have our 3-minute timer pulled up. We'll incense it. We'll start the timer. Still make sure our mic is muted. I always have to double check because sometimes it unmutes on its own. Here we go. And boom. Start the 3-minute timer. Now here's what we need to do. This is my honest to God best advice for you guys. Wait till it's done hunting and I'll tell you. Okay, it's pretty much done. Okay. Honest to God advice. here is, like, in terms of certain things, go turn the breaker on after you incense it. Because if you're not gonna have 2 incense on you, meaning that after you smudge it and start your timer, you can't go get another incense, right? Just wait around, hang around, turn the light on. And this is for the Obambo test, but you can, you know, like I said earlier, turn your light on. When the light turns off, that's when the hunt ends. But also, just have the front door open. If it's like a big map, just have the front door open and just hang around the front door. Try to find a good spot near the front door. And let's just get this to balance. And just wait till the door closes. When the door closes, you don't even have to look at it. You really could just listen for it. But, you know what I'll actually do is I'll just grab the crucifix so that I actually can stand out here in the open and watch the door. I can actually afford to move it a little bit more that way. There we go. So let's just wait for the door to close. A normal ghost can hunt in 3, 2, 1, now. So we know it's most likely not a demon. Not guaranteed. If the ghost starts hunting any point before the next minute and 20 seconds, then we know it is not a spirit, because spirits take 3 minutes after you instance it to start a hunt. And I just know my luck enough. Nope, there's the hunt. I know my luck enough to know that it's not going to be a spirit, and it's not a yokai because I radio tapped it. We could do a risky test here for a yokai just to verify that it's not one. Comes right back. Hopefully it doesn't kill us. See how it came right back whenever we stood there and radio tapped it? So we definitely know it's not a yokai now. We definitely know. There's a pretty decent chance that it's not a mimic. So we have a Mare, Onryo, Goryo, Yuri Shade. You know, a spirit still wouldn't even been able to hunt. Even like right now, a spirit still wouldn't even have been able to hunt. And you know what I feel like I kind of want to do? Is I kind of want to go figure this out. Because I obviously know what to do for like an Onryo and, you know, things like that. But, it's not exactly acting like a stalker, but it could still be a banshee. Goryo, Mare, Onryo, Yuri. What would I lean towards? There's no reason to lean towards anything in particular. Like, you can make a reasonable case for each of these ghosts, obviously, because they're just the very default normal ghosts. Goryo, the best argument that I would hear for a Goryo would be, hey, every single hunt that it started has started upstairs, except for the... except for the first one, because the crucifix got burned, didn't it? The crucifix got burned downstairs, if I'm not wrong. Was that this game? I think it was. So we can say it might not be a Goryo, because why would it just start a hunt there? And then all the other hunts start upstairs? Like, a Goryo is not going to switch rooms. It actually never switches rooms. So that actually narrows it down to potentially a Mare, Shade, or Yuri. There's no way to tell with any of these ghosts. You can't even... sorry, Mare, Onryo, Shade, and Yuri. My bad. There's no real argument. I mean, the only possible thing you really could come up with here, like, would be, hey, you know, I heard 2 or 3 doors close all the way, or I seen one door open halfway. But it could have started off open like that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to ask Siri to pick a number 1 through 4. So going in order on the list is 1 through 4. So Mare is 1, Onryo is 2, Shade 3, Yuri 4. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Pick a number between 1 and 4. Dude, Siri. Pick a number between 1 and 4. You fucking idiot, dude. I hate Siri. Siri is so fucking shit. Dude.
Something went wrong. Please.
Fucking idiot. Pick a number between 1 and 4. 3. 1, 2, 3. Shade. Alright, let's go Shade. Alright, that right there is your average Hey Siri experience. Like, that's your average fucking experience with Siri, that stupid bitch. That's why, like, Grok and ChatGPT are taking over. Jesus Christ. Shade it is. And of course she's not going to get it right either. Onryo. So, true. Great. Well, that's the end of the video, guys. When I do encounter the new ghosts, I will make a video for each of them, because I'm actually really excited to. But I just thought I'd get on here and play a little bit of Phasmophobia for old time's sake. I haven't played in a while, at least consistently. So, thought I'd make a little video. But let me know what you guys think of the update. I love this floor here. You know, like the table. I think it all looks pretty cool. I won't lie. I do like it all. I'm actually going to have to look into this whole event thing that's going on, and, you know, we've got 20 days. Oh, wow, I've actually done 20% of whatever this is. Reveal words of power. Alan Wake's suit. Cosmetic. I'm going to have to, I will look into this, because I don't know what any of this means. Community points, 24.59%. Find dolls and solve doll puzzles. I'll just search that on YouTube Shorts or something. Earn personal points. Angel Lamp Charm. Oh, that's the one game I played on Nell's Diner, I believe, right? Earn personal points. Okay, well, I'll look for that. I think that would be getting a ghost correct on one of the maps, and then you have to do a few other things, but whatever. Yeah, no, we'll definitely get into this. We have 20 days total. We are chilling. I'll probably have this done by fucking in the next, probably tomorrow at this time. I'll probably be done with everything that I can do. But yeah. I will, I'll see you guys. Let me know what you think of this update. Let me know what you rate it out of 10. Based off of what I've played, honestly, dude, I kind of give it like a... Honestly, I think I give it like an 8.5. I think it's a very solid update. But yeah, peace out, guys.